Okay, and welcome back. This is lecture number 13, and in this lecture, we're going to be talking about the importance of water and how we can use water to bring about some positive changes. And so, usually, we know that the body is made up of roughly 75 to 80% water, but I kind of want to break that down a little bit and talk about the different areas of the body and is what their water percentage makeup is or are. So, when it comes to blood, roughly about 83% of our blood is made up of water. 75% of the muscle tissues is water. 74% of the brain is made up of water. That's very interesting. And then 22% of our bones, believe it or not, are made up of water. And water helps us improve energy. It increases this is both mental and physical performance, and there will be a link to some of the studies that were done on that as well. And also, we know that water soluble vitamins like vitamin B and things like that also need water to enter into the bloodstream. Water also detoxifies the liver and the kidney. So usually if somebody is nauseated or that they're kind of sluggish, all that means is that they're not getting, or one of the reasons could be that they're not getting enough water. As we mentioned in one of the previous lectures, the communication between neurons use synapses, in which synapses are what carry the messages between the neurons. And there's a liquid that's used to help transport that message. And what a lot of people don't know is that that liquid is actually water. Yeah, so water is what's used to transport messages, or help transport messages between neurons. So some of the effects of a person who is properly hydrated, they have lower headaches, they have better neural functioning, as we just talked about, they have better concentration and also better endurance. And then that's, of course, that's for the internal or the external, or that's the internal effects of water. But also, we can also look at water on the outside as well, and that's going to be what they call hydrotherapy. And hydrotherapy is pretty much just a way to use water therapeutically. It stimulates the body's circulatory and nervous system. And a lot of people who are depressed actually, for depressed people, they use electric shock therapy, which actually does the same thing as hydrotherapy. However, with hydrotherapy, there's no negative side effects. The way it works is that cold water decreases activity by constricting the blood vessels, and then the warm or hot water helps dilate the blood vessels, making it easier for nutrients and oxygen to flow through. So usually a contrast shower or hydrotherapy is fairly easy. I mean, you can do it every time, or if you wanted to do it like 2 or 3 times a week, of course you can do that. You always want to start with warm water. You can start with 3 to 5 minutes of warm water, then you go to cool for about 1 minute, and then you repeat this cycle 2 to 3 times. You always want to end with cold water, and then thereafter you also want to lay in bed for about 30 minutes or so your body can adjust to the treatment. And I've done this plenty of times, and you can feel the effects of doing the hydrotherapy. And then next, I want to talk about drinking water. Of course, everybody knows they should be getting water and what, but there's some fascinating or some new insights that to water drinking that I want to talk about here. So the first thing is that you always want to drink a cup of warm water in the morning. That stimulates and helps activate the organs to get ready for to do their digestive work. We hear people say that you should get 8 glasses of water a day. I mean, if you're getting 8 glasses of water a day, that's more than the typical American is getting, anyways. But from what I've heard that you're actually supposed to be getting. So you're going to take your body weight, divide it in half, and then you'll get the amount of water you should be drinking in ounces. So using myself an example, my body weight is about 175 pounds. Half of that we'll say is roughly, let's say, we can say a little under 90. If my math is correct, a little under 90. So I should be drinking close to 90 ounces of water a day. And then, of course, whatever your body weight is, you'll take that in half, and that's the amount of in ounces. That's the amount of water you should be getting a day. But I mean, I don't think this matters as much. I mean, if you're getting 8 glasses of water a day, like I said, you're getting way more than the typical American. However, if you are active or if you do sweat a lot, then you will definitely need to get more than 8 glasses of water a day. Thirst is usually an indication that you're already dehydrated, so you should never get to a point where you're dying of thirst. That's the body's indication that there's not enough water or not enough liquid in the body to do what is needed. And then also want to stay away from coffee and caffeinated beverages that actually moves you towards dehydration a lot quicker. And then of course on hot days when you're sweating or if you're being physically active, you also might want to make sure that you do get more water. Now there is, believe it or not, too much water. The thing is too much water. There was a runner who was, I believe she was doing a marathon, and she of course understood the importance of water, but she didn't understand the importance of getting too much water. And after the marathon, literally right there, she collapsed, and shortly after she collapsed and died, and they found out that she died from water poisoning. So you can always get too much water. So that's going to be it for this lecture, and the next lecture we're going to be talking about music.